Welcome to the Strength for the Day podcast, which is a daily Bible study with Dennis Fountain. We hope this time together will be challenging, sharpening, uplifting, encouraging, and strengthening to your Christian walk. Thank you for joining us, and we pray you are helped through today's study.
Well, good morning, and I say good morning. Hopefully you're watching or listening in the morning or afternoon or evening, whatever time of day you are. You're in. Thanks for taking time. My brain is blank this morning, and I apologize. But anyway, we are diving into 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. We have been going through the book of 1 Thessalonians for the last number of episodes, and we've got just a few episodes left. And as we come to the end of 1 Thessalonians, we find Paul really kind of wrapping up this book. Remember, this book is written to be an encouragement, bring hope to the hopeless. And we all need that. We all need hope. We all need just encouragement when we're going through seasons of hardship. And no doubt these believers at Thessalonica, they were struggling. They were going through hardship. You can go read it in Acts chapter number 17 of the challenges that they were facing. And so as Paul writes to them, he encourages them about seeing the Lord again and giving them that confirmation and that encouragement. But then as he comes to these last few verses, really from verse 12 of chapter 5 all the way down through verse number 28, and remember the verse breaks were not in there. Paul was just writing one letter to them, and so it's just one long letter. But as we come to these verses, we can really find Paul not just encouraging them, but also challenging them. And we witnessed that in our last episode a little bit as he challenged them to live with intentionality. And today we kind of continue those challenges. Verse number 12 of 1 Thessalonians 5, we urge you, brethren, to recognize those who labor among you and are over you in the Lord and admonish you, and to esteem them very highly in love for their work's sake. Be at peace among yourselves. In these two verses, there is an incredible challenge to recognize, encourage, support, and build up those that admonish you or are over you in the Lord. Now, who is this speaking about? And this could become kind of an awkward passage for me to speak on, maybe to you if you're from Moses Lake Baptist Church, but I don't think it needs to be awkward. This passage is really great challenges or verses to the believers at Thessalonica to support and encourage their spiritual leaders. I just break it down real quick. We urge you. So here's a plea to you, brethren, to recognize those who labor among you. So recognize them, see them, support them. That word recognize there carries so much with it. And are over you in the Lord, and we admonish those that admonish you. So I want you, Paul writes, I want you to look and I want you to see and challenge and encourage and be a blessing to those that are over you in the Lord who admonish you, those who encourage you, those who challenge you, those who continue to speak into your life. Paul says, I want you to not only recognize them, support them, but then verse 13, esteem them very highly in love for their work's sake, and be at peace among yourselves. Esteem them very highly in love for their work's sake. I was trying to decide on how to approach these verses this morning, because I am a pastor and I don't want to at all come across speaking with a desire for attention or a desire for empathy or sympathy or anything like that. And so I just want to do this today. As we look at this episode and we look at these verses, I want to just kind of share with you from my heart what I believe the Lord is saying and some thoughts that could apply. So my heart as a pastor, as someone who has been raised in a pastor's home, as someone who has served on a church staff, I want to give this to you. When he says esteem them very highly in love, the word esteem has to do with giving them a significant place. It has to do with lifting them up. It has to do with encouraging. says to esteem them very highly in love. So lifting them up with love for their work's sake. When I think about being a pastor, I will tell you that learning how to be a pastor and learning as I go along about pastoring was very different from when I was living in a pastor's home, as well as when I was serving on a church staff. I hear this, and it's a joke. People all the time, hey, how was your one day of work? Talking about being a pastor and preaching on Sundays. And I will be honest, there probably are some pastors who abuse their position and only work 1 or 2 days or three days a week, and the rest of the time just kind of treat it as just a privileged position. However, that's most pastors. That's not most pastors. That's not most of the pastors that I know. Most of the pastors that I know put in, many of them, 40 to 60 hours a week in work for the church. I'll just kind of walk you through my week so you can know. And again, this is not for empathy or sympathy or anything, just so you can know kind of what I think maybe some of this is, where Paul's heart is on some of this. So for me, I take Mondays off, spend Monday, usually try to do something fun, go golfing in the summer, maybe go bowling in the winter time, hang out with my family, maybe a friend or two during the day, during the evenings, really try to spend that with family. I try not to answer a bunch of phone calls on Monday. If you ever call me on a Monday and I don't answer, that's probably why. It's not me ignoring. Usually I take a note, call them back tomorrow. Sometimes I'll answer, just kind of depends on where I'm at, what's going on. Tuesday is an administration day for me. I work usually either at the coffee shop a little bit, getting administrative work done for the church, and then I go to the office. We have staff meeting on Tuesdays. I usually try to record a lot on Tuesdays. And then prep for the rest of the week. Go home probably about 6 p.m. on Tuesdays. And then on Wednesday, I will get up and depending upon which days, I try to go to the gym every other day. Some weeks it only happens once, some weeks twice, some weeks 3 times. So it just depends. But Wednesday, I usually get up. I'm trying to be somewhere, whether that's at a coffee shop or at the office. Try to be there by 9, and I usually try to spend from 9 until about 1 just studying for that coming Sunday morning. I will grab some lunch and then spend from 1:30 or 2 till about 5 or 5:30 just working on administrative stuff, working on church plans, working with the staff through certain things, prepping for our midweek connect if we're doing that. Thursday, usually I'll study most of the day, or work on office work for most of the day. And then also I have my leadership business. So Thursday is usually a day that I give half of the day to that. Friday, I'll spend studying all morning and then finalizing different things for Sunday in the afternoon, as well as the coming weeks, as well as making sure that our plans are good to go. And then on usually on Wednesday afternoon, Thursday afternoon, Friday afternoon, those are the times I try to meet with people if they want to connect or have discipleship or work through something. Saturday mornings, I try to take the morning off, and then I work usually around 11 or 12 until about 3 or 4, finalizing everything for Sunday. And then Saturday night, I'll work usually about an hour on Sunday night, right before I go to bed, putting all my slides together and then sending that to Robert, who does a great job formatting all of that and getting ready for Sunday. Of course, then Sunday, I'm here at the church usually by 7 a.m. and then just prepping for the day and go home after both services, go home around 1 or 1:30, 2 o'clock, and grab lunch and then try to watch some football or something like that. So that's just a brief rundown of my week. Now, again, I'm not giving you that so you're like, wow, you do a lot, or wow, you don't do enough, or anything. All right, I'm just giving it to you because in this passage, as Paul writes to them, he says this: esteem them very highly in love for their work's sake. Now, I believe that Paul's time, there was a different leadership style. I think that they probably didn't handle a lot of the leadership like we do, the way that we do, in the sense of they didn't have office hours and things like that. But here's what Paul is saying. Those that lead spiritually, often they are sacrificing, they are giving of themselves, they are serving, they are investing. And so here's Paul's challenge. Recognize that. Hey, just see what they do and encourage them in it and esteem them very highly in love for their work's sake. And then he says the second part, be at peace with among yourselves. So esteem your leadership high, but then also keep peace among yourselves. You know, as a pastor, one of the things probably that irritates me the most is when church families aren't getting along. Not irritating like, oh, come on, but irritating like we're on the same side here. What are we doing? Why are we bickering? Why are we frustrated? I think Paul is kind of including all of this together, saying, hey, one of the best things you could do for your leadership is love them and encourage them, but then also stay at peace with your brother and sister in Christ. Now, you say, Pastor Dennis, what does this have to do with strength for the day? How can we receive strength from this? Well, I think it's two thoughts. Very simple, all right? Number one is pray for and encourage your leadership. If you're a part of our church, I'm so thankful for our church. Honestly, I hear it from guests that come in and people in our church and my own family, and my mom and I talk about it often. The Spirit of Moses Lake Baptist Church is just different, man. It is so amazing, and what God continues to do and the encouragement, the friendships that I have, I feel the encouragement and the love. So for our church family, keep doing that. Keep loving me. Keep encouraging me. For those of you that go to another church, encourage and love your pastor and your leadership and those that help direct the decisions of your church, because they invest in you, but they also have their own lives. We have our leadership, my leadership business, and Hannah's art business, and now we have the coffee shop, and then I have 2 kids in college, and Micah, who's almost a senior in high school. I'm navigating life and decisions and marriage and friendships, and I want to go on vacation too, and I want to have a day off, and I want to be able just to turn my brain off. And then I also have family, and I want to see them, and you just have all this stuff. Well, every spiritual leader is no different than you. They're just leading that ministry. So pray for them and encourage them. And then the second thing I would say is pray for and live at peace with other believers. Man, what an encouragement it is when we get along with others. And we've already talked about that. Paul wrote about it earlier in 1 Thessalonians. Jesus said it in John 13, loving and getting along together, and how that is a great picture of the Lord and his love for us. And so today, as we look at just these 2 verses, I would encourage you to pray for and encourage your spiritual leadership. And then number 2, pray for and live at peace with those that you follow Jesus with. So hope that'd be a help to you. And thanks for sticking around today. Tomorrow we'll pick up in verse number 14 and we'll go down through verse 14 and verse 15. We'll see you then. Have a good day.